with the tools we have today, in particular the digital tools, real-time data, modeling, AI, we can understand and control biology in ways that were not imaginable just a few years ago. So if we shift our mindset from biology is messy to biology is designable, it changes everything, I think. It opens the door for more robust processes, also faster process development activities, so faster innovation, and truly sustainable solution. So that mindset, I will say, from reactive to proactive, or from trial and error to design and control, is what will define the future of biotech industry.
Welcome back to part 2 with Carmen Jungo Rhême, who is a professor at the University of Applied Sciences in Fribourg, Switzerland, and director of the Biofactory Competence Center. If part 1 inspired you about fighting superbugs and sustainable food production, you'll love this deep dive into the Biofactory Competence Center's revolutionary approach. We're exploring how their non-classified cleanrooms seamlessly transfer to GMP facilities, their practical idea to scalable process methodology, and the critical skill gaps Carmen has discovered training both newcomers and veterans. Ready to discover what makes bioprocess development truly scalable? Well, let's dive in. Are you juggling the complexities of CMC development while trying to enjoy the beauty of biotech? Have you ever wondered if there's a way to simplify bioprocessing? Welcome to the Smart Biotech Scientist podcast, where we're diving headfirst into the very challenges you face. We're breaking it down, demystifying the jargon, and giving you the keys to unlock your full potential. I'm your host, David Brohlman, and I get it. With 15 plus years in the biotech industry, I face the same challenges you do. There's a way to simplify and streamline so you can remove complexity, you can skip trials and errors, deliver without delay your groundbreaking therapy to clinics and market, and still enjoy every single step. Do you want to learn how industry experts and I did it? Grab a cup of coffee and your favorite notebook and pen. Now is the time to take your bioprocessing game to the next level. Let's smarten up biotech. And now, more specifically, what you're doing at the Biofactory Competence Center. So you're a professor at the University of Applied Sciences in Fribourg and also leading the Biofactory Competence Center. And we have mentioned that term several times already. Tell us now a bit more what this center is all about. What is your mission? What specific challenges and needs are you addressing in this center?
In general, at the Biofactory Competence Center, our main goal is to work in collaboration with industrial partners or with academic partners to work on applied research projects. Universities are doing more fundamental research, and engineering schools like the University of Applied Science is more focused on applied research projects. So we have different collaborations with startups or with bigger companies. So this is one of our main activity in the field of biotechnology. It can be pharma or food industry. And on top of that, we are, of course, also offering trainings for our students, practical trainings, but also theory in bioprocess engineering. And we are also offering trainings for professionals from industry, typically in upstream processing and in downstream processing, but also other things like aseptic working techniques.
And how does that work? Let's assume I am the CEO of a startup company and we have a new technology, or we have an idea and we need a development partner like your center. How does this process then work? We come to you and we say, hey, we have this amazing idea. We want to solve an antimicrobial resistance. And then what are the next steps?
So I would say each project is different, but we always have a similar approach. with structured way to proceed. So when a small biotech company or even a large company comes to us with an idea, we start by listening, of course, and really understanding their concepts, their goals, and the challenges they are facing. And from there, we typically guide them through 4 key phases. The first one is usually a feasibility study or a concept design phase. So in this feasibility study, we typically assess the scientific and the technical viability of their idea. This includes early risk identification, technology readiness, and defining, for example, the critical quality attributes to consider. After this first phase, this feasibility study, we enter in a phase where we do process development activities. So once the concept is clear and the goals are clear, we can co-develop either a robust upstream or downstream process or just focus on one of the process steps, depends on the project. Of course, for a recombinant protein, this includes selecting the right expression system, but often the company already has a very precise idea and already has the host cell. And then maybe optimizing the media and conditions, the process variables. It depends on the project, but really also ensuring that the process will be scalable and implementable in a GMP facility. So process development activities are after that or in parallel. The third phase is really the analytical and quality strategy. And the best thing is to do it in parallel to development studies. So we make sure that we have a tailored analytical toolbox to monitor product quality and process performance. This is really key also for the future manufacturing in GMP production. And last but not least, the fourth phase is then the scale-up maybe or the technology transfer to a manufacturing facility. So this is usually how we will proceed.
And speaking of the scale-up and then the transfer to another partner, CDMO, or maybe even in-house if it's a big company, what are the typical scales you're working at your facility and what is the maximum? And then beyond that, you would then move it to another facility?
For process development at bioreactor scale, we have 5-liter scale bioreactors, which can mimic very well 15,000 liter bioreactor, for example. So most of our development studies is performed at 5-liter scale. We have also bioreactors up to 50-liter scale, but often we focus on the 5-liter scale, and then a scale-up can be directly done to any larger scale. It can be 1,000 or 15,000 liter. This is also quite usual in industry. You would lose often too much time going to a larger pilot scale before going to the final manufacturing scale.
Yeah, absolutely. And now, especially with all the digital tools we have for modeling, and if you have well characterized your system, you should actually have everything at small scale to directly go to your large scale facility and actually succeed.
Yes, definitely, yes.
So at the Biofactory Competence Center, you do 2 things. You develop or co-develop with various companies, but you have also a mission to train different people working in GMP facilities or I'm not sure if also in the lab, but definitely GMP. So tell us a bit what you're doing there and what are some skill gaps you're trying to fill.
We have also a training for operators in the pharmaceutical industry. So many facilities were built in Switzerland in the last 10 years, and the industry had to hire quite a lot of operators in pharmaceutical industry. So this is the main reason why this training was put in place here in Switzerland at the Biofactory Competence Center. And there's still a need in the pharma industry to hire competent people who can work as operator in the pharmaceutical industry. So we have a 5-week training where the people learn the basics about GMP documentation and how to work in a lab, how to use a pH meter, a conductimeter, the gowning, etc., etc. So we have this training operator in the pharmaceutical industry. And then for more advanced people who are already working in industry, we have a 3 days training in upstream processing and one in downstream processing.
And that for the more advanced people, is that also a GMP training, or is that more a technical training on how you run, for instance, a bioreactor or a chromatography column?
It's more a technical training. It's not focused on GMP, but really on technical scientific aspects. For example, in the upstream processing training, we are also speaking about mass balance and how to calculate the specific growth rate, the doubling time, how you determine the feed rate for a fed batch culture, things like that. So it's more scientific and technical.
So I'm curious now, Carmen, because you train both people in their undergrad at the university, you train people at the Biofactory Competence Center, and we have an industry that is changing rapidly with all the digital technologies, with robotics, and you name it, there's a lot of things going on. What do you think, and I know it's a hard question, what do you think are the 3 skills that will matter most in 5 years in our industry?
That's a good question. A lot of skills are important, not only 3, that's clear. But in 5 years, I would say the 3 most valuable skills in biotech, on top of bioprocessing knowledge, I would say are, first of all, data management. So not just collecting data, but contextualizing the data, now knowing how to interpret it, to handle it, to ask the right questions, and make decisions based on it. So the ability to work with data is essential already now. The second one, I would say, is the adaptability with digital tools. Not necessarily coding, but being comfortable with digital platforms, with automation, with AI and modeling tools. So these technologies, they are part of everyday lab, and also they are part of manufacturing facilities. Those who can use them effectively, they will stand out. The third one, I would say, is system thinking. So understanding how different parts of a process or even an ecosystem are interacting. Not just taking into account the process parameters of one step, but thinking about the whole process, including raw materials, including what's happening at the supplier, etc., and maybe also taking into account the ecosystems. I would say this is what I call system thinking.
Yeah, absolutely. I think systems thinking is something we often neglect. We hear more about the digital technologies, about the hype, the AI, machine learning, modeling, but I cannot agree more. The systems thinking is fundamental, and we live in a world where we see a lot more things being connected. And if you can make sense of how the things are being connected, or like how Steve Jobs would say that, connecting the dots, then you can stand out and you can use, for instance, your data set also as a product, for instance, because you can make meaning out of the data you've generated and perhaps even sell that as a service or to other companies.
Yeah, that's extremely important. The data, as you say, and the system thinking, taking this data into account and taking into account the data not only of the process, but maybe also of the environment, etc.
Now, you have been leading the Biofactory Competence Center for, I think, a couple of years now. Or is it a year? I don't know. I don't remember.
1.5 years, actually.
1.5 years. So let's say a couple of years. What is your dream now as you look forward in terms of how you co-develop with partners, the kind of problems you're going to solve, or how you're going to train people? Like, what would you like to do in the next few years?
In the next few years, I would like to continue to have projects to be active in the field of antimicrobial resistance, because it is a challenge for our society. We have to find solutions. And we have, for example, also a project in collaboration with a small startup, Micreos, who is located in Wädenswil in Switzerland, where we express and purify endolysins to fight against Staphylococcus aureus. So working in this area of antimicrobial resistance and developing also more expertise is one of my wishes for the future. Making also a difference in sustainable food production is a key aspect, especially in Switzerland, which is a very small country, and we really have to think about to find solutions for the future, sustainable solutions, and using also our waste products and combining that with digital tools to make the best of our data, the best of our experiments is one of the goals. Of course, we want to continue also to deliver interesting trainings, not only for our students, but also for professionals. And these interactions with the students, with the professionals who are coming to BCC for trainings is also very important for us because at the same time, we learn also what's key for them and we can continue to improve our trainings.
Yeah, you mentioned that Switzerland is a small country, and I think something we know to do very well in Switzerland is to pivot, to adapt quickly to different, whether it's environmental changes or industrial changes, or now we have technology changes. I think we always had to pivot and change in our history. So I would love to hear your take, Carmen, on what kind of new mindset should we adapt now as scientists, as with these new changes, whether it's on the technology side, whether it's on the sustainability side, and a lot more. Is there something you would suggest changing or just a mindset to develop?
I think one mindset shift in the biotech industry, in pharma and in food industry, is to stop seeing biology as unpredictable. I think for too long, we have treated biological systems as black boxes and as complex or mysterious and inherently variable. But with the tools we have today, in particular the digital tools, real-time data, modeling, AI, we can understand and control biology in ways that were not imaginable just a few years ago. So if we shift our mindset from biology is messy to biology is designable, it changes everything, I think. It opens the door for more robust processes, also faster process development activities, so faster innovation, and truly sustainable solution. So that mindset, I will say, from reactive to proactive, or from trial and error to design and control, is what will define the future of biotech industry, I think.
Before we wrap up, Carmen, what burning question haven't I asked that you're eager to share with our biotech community?
Maybe you didn't ask about the fact if we have projects in the digital transformation. We have, for example, a project in collaboration with DataHow and Beckman Coulter. It's funded by IA Booster from InnoSuisse. Our main goal in this project is to demonstrate how digital technology and the use of artificial intelligence will transform the biotech industry. The project focuses on optimizing the production of green fluorescent protein in a fed batch culture with a recombinant E. coli strain. So it's a method commonly used in the biopharmaceutical industry. Many recombinant proteins are produced with fed batch cultures. And in this project, the process parameters of the high cell density fed batch culture are varied across to a design of experiment. And we are doing many experiments in microbioreactors. It's the BioLector XT microbioreactor of Beckman Coulter. So this is a high throughput microbioreactor system that allows to perform a high number of experiments in a short time. And in parallel, at BCC, we are doing 5-liter scale fed batch cultures in bioreactors. So this is a commonly used scale in bioprocess development. And with all this data, we can actually construct a digital twin platform. All the process data is gathered, and DataHow is building a digital twin platform based on a hybrid model with the goal to find the optimal process conditions in a short time. So this project is really a case study demonstrating how bioprocess development can be accelerated. For us, this project is important also because one of the goals is to share it with the students. We would like the students to learn how to use also this tool so that when they arrive in industry, they're also comfortable with it.
That's fantastic. I love this project. And with all that we have covered today, Carmen, what is your 20-second takeaway? What should we walk away with from our conversation?
So I would say there's one key takeaway from our conversation today. It's that bioprocessing is no longer just about managing complexity. It's about mastering it. And with the right mindset, with the right tools and training, we can turn biological variability into predictable, into scalable and sustainable solutions. So whether it's fighting against antimicrobial resistance or transforming the food system or embracing digitalization, I think that the future of biotech is about integrating the right tools for a smarter bioprocess.
Thank you so much, Carmen, for sharing your passion, for sharing your expertise. I've greatly enjoyed our conversation. Where can people connect with you?
So people can connect with me simply on LinkedIn. I have a profile on LinkedIn. There's also an email address on the Biofactory Competence Center website where you can leave a message or ask a question or get in contact with me.
That's great. I will leave all the information in the show notes. So smart biotech scientists, please use this opportunity, reach out to Carmen and explore. Who knows? Maybe your project will be the next project at the BCC. I don't know. I don't have any stakes in it. So I just, but I love to connect people. So use this opportunity. And thank you once again, Carmen, for being on the show today.
Thank you very much, David. It was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Fantastic insights from Carmen Jungo Rhême on the future of bioprocess development and training. From seamless GMP transfers to essential skills for the next 5 years, we've covered game-changing strategies. Remember, scaling doesn't have to be overwhelming. And do you need guidance on your process development journey or your technology development journey? Well, schedule your free consultation at BromanConsulting/call and I will help you get started. Thank you so much for tuning in. Please leave a review on the platform you found us on, and I'll see you next time. All right, smart scientists. That's all for today on the Smart Biotech Scientist podcast. Thank you for tuning in and joining us on your journey to bioprocess mastery. If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a review on Apple Podcasts or your favorite podcast platform. By doing so, we can empower more scientists like you. For additional bioprocessing tips, visit us at smartbiotechscientist.com. Stay tuned for more inspiring biotech insights in our next episode. Until then, let's continue to smarten up biotech.